Alright, so moving on to the final segment. I'll be sharing my fight recap of UFC 290, the main event of UFC 295 between Alex Pereira and Jiri Prochazka. So we saw Alex Pereira went on to defeat Jiri Prochazka by knockout in the second round to become the new light heavyweight champion in the UFC. And I gotta give credit where credit is due. Alex Pereira proved me wrong. Alex Pereira went on to beat Jiri Prochazka, who I personally predicted that would become the new light heavyweight champion in the UFC 295 by defeating Alex Pereira. That obviously did not happen. But Alex Pereira looked pretty good. Showed that he could beat the top guy at the light heavyweight division, the number one ranked light heavyweight fighter, and Jiri Prochazka. And we saw a seesaw battle. Even though the fight was quick, it was a quick seesaw battle between the two respective fighters. But you saw both fighters hurting each other with significant strikes. But in the end, Alex Pereira was getting the best of Jiri Prochazka and started delivering a significant amount of elbow strikes, which would lead to Jiri Prochazka going to sleep, leading to Alex Pereira getting the knockout victory to become the new light heavyweight champion in the UFC. So, now, with that being said, Alex Pereira is now a two-division world champion. He's a former middleweight champion and now the new light heavyweight champion in the UFC. The ninth fighter in UFC history to accomplish that stat line to become a two-division world champion in the UFC. Alex Pereira is now the second ever Brazilian fighter to become a two-division world champion. And now that he's also the first Brazilian fighter, the first Brazilian fighter to do that was Amanda Nunes, who I do believe is the greatest women's UFC fighter in UFC history. But, man, I'm looking forward to seeing if Alex Pereira can step it up a notch. I understand that he just won that light heavyweight championship, but it makes me question, can the man continue to his dominance in the UFC? Can he actually step it up a notch and potentially fight in the heavyweight division? I have these questions now because I never saw him defeating Israel Adesanya. I think that came out of nowhere. I know they have their history in kickboxing. When he became the middleweight champion, I didn't expect him to become the light heavyweight champion, defeating Jiri Prochazka. I just think with the heavyweight division that could currently be wide open, John Jones being on the shelf for a little bit, why not go ahead and go up to the heavyweight division and potentially become a three-division world champion in the UFC? I think that has to interest Alex Pereira just a little bit if Israel Adesanya is not going to fight him again and come up to the light heavyweight division in the UFC. But those are my thoughts on Alex Pereira defeating Jiri Prochazka in the main event of UFC 295. And that is all the time I have for you guys today. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. This is your host, Thomas Tyree, signing off. And I'll see you guys on next week's episode.